Hello everyone, this is Abimbola Kiyomi Ileokoya on Now That You're Married. I want to believe you've had a great week, and I'm happy to come here again to share another important topic with you. Today we will be examining a group of people that are unavoidable in your family. People that, whether you love them or you don't love them, you still need to live with them. And that is referring to in-laws, dealing with in-laws in marriage. Who is an in-law? An in-law is a relation that you are adopted by marriage. That is, relations, siblings, parents, cousins of your spouse. These are the group of people that are referred to as in-laws. In-laws in Africa are very important because we believe that marriage is not between just a young man and a young woman. In Africa, marriage is between two big families, the bride's family and the groom's family. Now, outside of that singular person you are marrying, the rest of them are your in-law. It is not possible to live your life in isolation. Yeah, that's very true. Because we're Africans. From the way we live around one another. From the to events that you attend events that you're bound to meet with one person or the other that you actually know that belongs to your family or to the family of your spouse. So you cannot run away. You cannot live in isolation. Then, if that is the case, then we must have a good understanding of how to deal with our in-laws. In some culture, you find a lot of people, claiming to have, in quotes, rights over your spouse, especially the wife. The brother-in-law feels, I have as much right over the wife of my brother as he does outside of his bedroom. Someone will come into your home and would expect that you accord him or her as much respect as you accord your spouse. Some in-laws are extremists. Some exceptionally loving, some exceptionally difficult. It is your duty to balance it in a way that you will not offend your spouse or offend his or her own family. Your in-laws can either make or mar your marriage, depending on their disposition towards your marriage. Some are easy to deal with, some are very difficult to deal with. Now, I want us to examine the common issues that people have with their in-laws. The first common issue is dealing with dependent relatives, where you have your spouse taking care of one person or the other in his or her own immediate family. Some of such in-laws might feel it is natural for them to just move in and begin to live with you. But there has to be an understanding. You must sit down and talk about it. Because a young marriage should be left to develop. And that means just the man and the woman. So if you have dependent relatives, you must begin to think of how to settle them in a way that it will not begin to interfere with your own marriage. Because when you allow anybody to walk into your home at any time and then feel comfortable without giving you even prior notice, then you'll be stepping on the toes of your spouse. And not only that, you'll be giving room for unnecessary arguments. That's when they begin to see extreme things that you're doing. Some have, well, I don't know if it's just in movie or reality, that a woman will walk into the kitchen of the daughter-in-law and check the size of the beef, that might be very extreme, but taking note, looking at you as if you are not truly loving their child, but you are just there to siphon what they have labored for. Some feel very, very entitled that they expect you as a spouse to accord them as much respect as you will accord your own family, which is, well, to a large extent, very true. As you love your mother, you should love your mother-in-law. As you love your sister, you should love your sister-in-law. As you love your brother, because you're actually adopting those other members of the family as part of your own family. Of course, I agree with you that some of them can be very, very extreme, thinking they have a right to come and dictate what happens in your marriage. But you have to be patient with them. Some are unnecessarily agitated by your presence. They look at this man. I've trained my daughter for over 25 years. We've always had this bond. And now he has taken over the space I used to have in the heart of my daughter. Or a woman looks at her, look at this lady. You think you can just come? The son that I labored for, I was selling firewood till he was through with the school. And now you have come, you want to come and sit upon everything. So many of those things do happen. But you have to be wise. You must find a way of, taking charge in such a way that nobody feels offended in that marriage. Then another issue is where you have suspicious in-laws. They're just suspicious. They want to find out, do you truly love my son? Or you have just come to take what you can take and run away? Do you truly love my daughter? Or you are just pretending? They are suspicious of every of your move. All you need to do in that situation is to gain the confidence of such an in-law. Gain their confidence. Show them love. I've had someone told me that some people are just unlovable. Yes, some people are unlovable. But it shouldn't stop you from showing them love. Keep showing it. Whether the love is accepted by them or not. You just be who you are. Show them love. Show them love all of the time. And as you do that, you'll be able to win them to your side eventually. Another issue is where you have parents that are overprotective. They are highly possessive. They look at you and they feel, can you truly take care of my child? Can you make my child as comfortable as I will make that child comfortable? Or you look at it and say, oh, this place is not good enough. I had a case of a woman that walked into her daughter's home and felt these chairs. You mean this is where you'll be sitting? And then they begin to change all the furniture. The husband came home and found out that the whole house had been transformed. That is being overpossessive. We have people like that. They will come and say, is this what you are giving my son to eat? What is this? Is this ogbono or water? What did you cook here? Feeling that you can't even cook good meal for their son. It does happen. Patience is the key word there. Patience. Over time, I'm telling you, they will get tired. Over time. If you make up your mind and say, I won't let you come in between me and my spouse. But the mistake a lot of people make is you begin to take it out on your spouse. Tell your sister, I won't take that from her. When she comes around there to insult me. Never have it behind your mind that your spouse will love you at the expense of his or her own family. It's not going to work. Just as you love your people, your spouse also loves his or her people. So the best you can do is to have an understanding between each other. So don't let it look as if, you can't separate your spouse from the family. It's not possible. Your in-laws are actually permanent members of your own family. So just as you won't say, I'm married, therefore, I won't have anything to do with my parents or any relation again. Same thing with your spouse. So you shouldn't be selfish about it. You can't separate them. You met them that way and they will remain that way. All you have to do is to make yourself as comfortable as possible. And that starts with you discussing it with your spouse and then looking for a way forward. Another issue is where you have inter-religious in-laws. For example, you're a staunch Muslim and your in-laws are Christians. Don't be suspicious of every of their move. Some will give you genuine advice. There was a case of a lady that had a child. She lost the child and then she wasn't getting pregnant quickly. And the father-in-law came and said, all these things don't really matter. There's, there's this thing you can take and then you conceive. For you to say, no, 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 never. Blood of Jesus, blood of Jesus. Number one, you end up hurting the person that is giving the offer. Number two, you lose respect with such a fellow. How should such a situation be handled? Thank you so much for your care. Let me just think about it for a while. Let me just think about it. That's a step you have taken a step backward, but at the same time, you're telling the person, I'll get back to you. Discuss it with your spouse. I don't think I can take this thing, but I don't want to offend Babao. So how do we go about it? Then I go, Daddy, actually I'm on a medication and I don't want to mix it with the other one so that it does not work again. You will wisely refuse what the person is offering without hurting the person. So you have to be wise. Be careful. Don't step on toes consciously. Don't see every of their move as being intentionally demonic. Don't look at your in-laws because of their opposing religion. Don't look at them as if they can be accommodated. In every family, you have diverse religions. Just as you won't abandon your auntie and say you don't know her anymore. If she's of the other religion, you shouldn't do the same to your in-law. That does not mean they don't love you. Don't be suspicious of every of their move. And as you do that, you'll find out that you'll have more peace than you can imagine with your in-laws. Now, let's look at it. What are those things that the two of you can do together that will make your marriage, interesting without unnecessary interference by your parents or any other member of your family? Number one, you must prioritize. We talked about that when we're talking about finance. If it involves money, it involves anything. Taking a decision. For example, you want to relocate or you're being given an offer to relocate to a place by one member of your family. You must consider your spouse. The place we're going to move into, will it increase the stress on my spouse? Will it increase the stress on my children? You must put them first in every of your decision. You must put them first. So your spouse and your children come first in every of your decision. Set boundaries. Let everyone know their limits. You are the best person that can talk to your own spouse. To your own relation. Don't let them have free and direct access just like that to your spouse. Let everybody know. When you're coming, you should let me know. I'm not the only one living here. Things you used to do together freely, you may not be able to do it again. Let them know the scenario has changed. Someone once told me a story of how he used to say his mother every day before he got married. He would go to say the woman. And then when he was planning to get married, he started reducing the number of times. Firstly, it was every other day, and then twice a week, and then it became once a week, and then once in every other week. And the mother called him and said, "My son, what have I done? Have I offended you in any way?" And the man said, "No, Mama, you have not offended me. I'm going to get married so that you won't say it's my wife that is preventing me from seeing you. I want you to get used to the idea that it can't be as it used to be." And he was able to sink that into his mother. And that's what every one of us should do. You should let your people know their limits. Now the scenario is changed, not just me. Now I have a spouse. So there should be limits to how you can come in unannounced or do what you like in my home. Set boundaries. Then figure out your holiday together. Plan up front. Don't just let things happen. When you have your planned holiday, nobody can say, "I'll be coming to visit you," when you know you won't be around. So both of you now will begin to work towards ensuring that that time is achieved. So don't plan in isolation. Don't just bang on your spouse and say, "I've paid for this holiday. We need to go," and let your spouse know. Whatever plan you have, ensure that you take your spouse along. Work towards it to ensure that you get it out of being a plan to becoming a reality. Then work as a team. Speak with one voice. Don't let your spouse face your family alone. Be the mouthpiece of your spouse, because it's the way you present your spouse that will determine how your family will react. So don't let anybody come around and rubbish your spouse and then you keep quiet, because no matter how close the person is, you don't have to say it in the presence of your spouse, but let it sink into that person that, see, I'm no longer one, I'm now half. And the other half that will complement me to get a hold of me is actually my spouse. So work as a team. Stand together. When there's anything happening or any attack from any quarter, just face it together and solve it together. Then keep an open mind. Keep an open mind. Don't be on the defensive when your spouse is complaining about your family. See it from your spouse's point of view. That way you'll be able to have a good assessment, because you can't be defending your family in the presence of your spouse. Just as you can, so defend your spouse in the presence of your family, you should be able to, have an open mind, look at it logically, and prefer a lasting solution. Don't betray your spouse to your parents. Every individual has his own weaknesses and strengths. Don't go to your parents and run down your spouse, because you might have forgotten what you told them, but it will still be in their mind. You might have forgiven whatever your spouse did wrongly, but it will still be in their own mind. So don't run your spouse down in the presence of anyone. Then don't force the relationship. If they are not gelling, don't be quick to force your parents on your spouse or force your spouse on your parents. Let them work it out bit by bit. Let it smoothing out as much as they can get out of each other. Be the spokesman and enforce of your marriage to your parents. Let them know this marriage will stand. Mama, Papa, I've married this person. Please, the best you can do is to support me. Don't let this marriage break. And as you talk to your people, over time, truly, they will get back to you, and you'll be on the good side, of both yourself and your spouse. I just want to encourage you. Your in-laws are actually your people. They are lovable. Keep loving them. I've had cases of people that actually prefer their in-laws to their biological parents. When I lost my own father-in-law, I actually lost another father. He was a father indeed to me, I must confess to you. So there are people that are good out there, but if you have a preset of a mind that your in-laws are always bad, then you have it bad. So I want to encourage you, love them. They are lovable. Love them. Make up your mind. I'm adopting you as my family. Therefore, I have no choice but to love you. And as you do that, you find that things will work better. Very soon, we'll be bringing someone up here to come and share a life experience with you again. Till we meet again, I want to say thank you so much. Thank you for staying tuned. And I look forward to hearing from you. Send in the question, ask question, put in your mail. Let me hear from you. Give me a feedback so that we can make this work together. I remain Abimbola Akinwumi, Ileokoya on Now That You're Married.